Hey everyone, it's Stellar Nan. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, I'm making a chocolate Tetris heart. Whether it's for your partner, a friend, or you're treating yourself, because you deserve it. The first version of Tetris I ever played was Tetris on the Game Boy. I spent many hours trying to get that rocket screen. Though my favorite version of the game is actually Puyo Puyo Tetris, which there are so many different things I really love about the game, but my favorite feature being the versus mode, which really takes the game and turns it on its head. It really bamboozles all of my friends, which is really great. So, without further ado, let's get started. For this craft, you'll need these materials. The printed reference that you can find in the description box below, chocolate chips or chocolate candy melts, a Tetris silicone tray mold, and a spoon and/or a spatula. Some optional items are a butter knife, wax paper, decorative icing with a nozzle. For this craft, I used white icing because I felt like it would be a nice contrast to the brown chocolate color. Lastly, nutmeg and cinnamon. Let's take a quick look at the tray. Here, we have 7 different types of shapes. We'll need a total of 26 pieces to complete the heart. Because of how each Tetris game uses different colors for each Tetris piece, it's much easier to refer to them as letters. The 7 different letters represented are I, O, T, S, Z, J, and L. S and Z, as well as J and L, are mirrored versions of the same shape. It's really important not to get these mirrored versions of the pieces mixed up, or you could run into some trouble in the games. I'd say the 2 main methods to melt chocolate is the microwave or stove. For this video, I'll be using the microwave. Place the chocolate into a microwave-safe bowl. Warm up the chocolate in 30-second intervals. After every 30 seconds, stir the chocolate around with a spoon. This process is tedious, but microwaving it for longer segments risks burning the chocolate, as it can burn somewhat easily. Once the chocolate has melted thoroughly enough, you can opt to add some spices. I personally think adding a tiny bit of nutmeg and cinnamon really adds to the flavor. Before the next step, I'd recommend preemptively placing a piece of wax paper underneath your work surface in case of spills for an easier cleanup. Carefully pour the melted chocolate into the silicone mold, using the spoon or a spatula as needed. I prefer using a spatula for transferring the chocolate because it can really help getting every last bit, but a spoon works just as well. Repeat the steps for melting the chocolate to fill up the rest of the tray. Tetra is the Greek numerical prefix for the number 4, and every Tetris piece, or tetramino, is made up of 4 square blocks. The name Tetris comes from the Greek prefix, but also the game of tennis. So it's tetra plus tennis to make Tetris. But why tennis? It was the creator Russian game designer Alexei Pajitnov's favorite game. Wait for the chocolate to cool down until it's solidified in the mold. To speed up the process, you could opt to place the tray in the freezer or fridge, but that's optional. Once the chocolate has fully solidified, carefully remove the Tetris pieces from the tray by bending the mold away from the chocolate. It can be really handy to use a butter knife to help you coax the chocolate out of there. Oh, a quick note on storage. Because of how the mold will need to be used multiple times to complete the heart, I feel it's important to store the finished pieces somewhere safe while working on the remaining pieces. You definitely don't want dust, pet hair, or bugs to get into the completed pieces. I recommend storing them in Tupperware, plastic wrap, or placing them into the fridge for safekeeping. Keep making more chocolate pieces until you have all 26 that you need. For my Tetris heart, I added white decorative icing to add some contrast to the chocolate and really make those pieces pop. And there you have it, a chocolate Tetris heart to celebrate Valentine's Day. Oh man, this is actually really embarrassing, but I actually made this craft many years ago for someone, and while he ate some of it, he ended up throwing most of it away in the trash because he felt like it got too stale. So, pro tip, be sure to store it in such a way that it doesn't dry out and get really gross. This craft actually took me a couple hours to make, so be sure you're okay with whoever you're giving it to. Unless, of course, you're giving it to yourself, which you're totally worth it, dude. Also, don't cry over boys. Go do some squats and make them wish they still had that. Girl power! Thank you for checking out my video. If you enjoyed it and want to support me, join the Stella Fam by subscribing to my channel. Stay stellar! Every time you call your boyfriend daddy, Sigmund Freud's ghost gets a little stronger.